One of the questions I often get from gardeners is, what do I do in the fall other than clean up the beds? What can I plant other than fall mums or kale or something like that? Well, we have a good book for you today. It's called Fallscaping, Extending Your Garden Season into Autumn by Nancy Andra and Stephanie Cohen. And we're lucky to have with us one of the authors, Stephanie Cohen, a good friend for many years. Thank you, Stephanie, for spending a few minutes today with us.
Well, thank you for asking me. One of the questions I got, why did you pick that as a topic? And it was the first magazine article I had written for a major national magazine. And I wrote so much that they had to make it 2 parts because I was really into this idea about the fall landscape. One of the things you can do is look at your property and look at the colors of the trees, the shrubs. Do they turn any colors? And then find plants that pull those colors down into the bottom layer of the garden. And sometimes that's a little more difficult to do. But there are plenty of things that you can use besides mums. I tell people in the fall, you don't have to develop that fatal disease. It's called mummitis. You just go ahead and you look and you'll find that there's so many things that you can do, you will be overly amazed. Even things like roses. Many of the roses have nice looking hips by the fall. And I always tell the audience, ladies, big hips are in. Because they're actually useful, because if you don't, by the time fall is disappearing, they're good for winter decorating, especially for Christmas, because if you're making decorations, they're red already and don't have to do any spray painting. And I have a couple of species roses that have very small little hips, and they look good in wreaths. And so there's a lot you can do with that kind of stuff. People forget that a lot of plants have a lot of berries in the fall, and that's part of the fall. It's not just acorns on the tree, it's the berries one of my favorite things, and I can say it up here, is blueberries, because I can't think of a better plant to plant. In the spring, beautiful flowers. And then after spring passes, you get the fruits. So you have beautiful foliage and fruits. But then in the fall, those blueberries turn the best shade of red. I mean, people come to Vermont to see the red and the orange trees. Why not bring it down to the ground level? You know, blueberries are one of the most ornamental shrubs there are.
They are, and I love them too for that same reason. They're very low maintenance, they're low ones, they're high ones, so you can use them as foundation planting. So it just has so much use, and I think that's the kind of thing. Here you have a chapter on seed heads. I'm thinking about all those ornamental grasses. I'm thinking about the birds that come to them in the fall. Not only do I enjoy them, but they enjoy them for food.
Well, there are a lot of birds, and even butterflies, that if you're planting a few late flowers that are still hanging around and they still need food, and this way they're there. And then when you're heading toward winter, some of them will actually be protection for ground nesting birds and things like that.
Exactly, and I just love, you got a lot of examples in here. You know, plant lists, you have some nice illustrations, graphic drawings with a plan. With A, B, C, so you can tell what the flowers are, which is excellent.
And what I like about it is I try to keep them, none of these are esoteric, they're just common, ordinary plants that they should be able to get in most garden centers. And if you can't find it, then you take the one that's closest to it. These plants are not made in stone. If you don't like something that I show, put your own substitute in.
So you don't really have to, just get something that's similar or a different cultivar or whatever. So, well, great. Well, this is a very useful book, I think, up here especially, but anywhere. So thank you so much for sharing it with us today, and I hope you'll look for it either online or in your local bookstores. For University of Vermont Extension, I'm Leonard Perry.